Imagine waking up on an unknown beach, surrounded by small creatures called pals. Strangely enough, this world is also called Palworld. I'm a product of the early 90s. Small creatures with world-destroying capabilities, that's my jam. Digimon, Pokemon, and the long-gone but not forgotten Monster Rancher. All of that combined is basically Palworld. The normal objective for Palworld is quite simple. Catch pals, fight to get stronger, beat tower bosses, get the best gear, and prove you're the very best, like no one ever was. But what if I didn't want to do any of that? I simply want to cultivate and profit by any means necessary. I'm going full farmer mode. 100 days, one goal, total agricultural domination. I spawned in. Day 1, no pals, no tools, no clothes. Perfect. If I wanted to become the strongest farmer in the universe, I needed some farm animals, and fast. The first thing I wanted to try and capture was a lamb ball, because what's a farm without sheep, right? I was genuinely hyped for my very first capture. What trait would luck give me today? Something strong for defense? And I got the brittle trait. The literal worst trait you could have possibly have given me. I bet if I even glanced at this lamb ball in the wrong way, it would break under the sheer pressure of my silent judgment. We're off to a very fantastic start. Still running around butt naked like a freshly plucked chicken, I gathered sticks and stones and built the most structurally sound crafting bench in the entire history of crafting benches. The slight 45-degree tilt made quite the bold statement. It said, hey, I play by my own rules. This thing could outlast a hurricane, or a mildly annoyed lift monk. Anyway, base camp secured. I had some resources left over, and swiftly crafted myself a club and a torch. Seeing things and hitting things is fundamental for survival, so I cooked up some proper tools, a fashionable pickaxe, and an axe. The axe is alright, and I have nothing fancy to say about it, but I did give them little nicknames. I named the pickaxe Lord Pickington, and the axe Lady Axington. Now that I had basic tools, it was time to start farming materials. I needed wool to make cloth, so I could finally get some clothes and stop being indecent. I can feel your eyes staring right through the screen at me. It's making me really uncomfortable. Could you please look away for a second? Thanks. After crafting some spheres, I caught another lamb ball. It wasn't a good lamb ball, but it was something. Now that I had 2 fuzzy balls... Wait, who wrote this? 2 fuzzy balls? That's terrible. This is terrible. I'm leaving. Goodbye. I need the money. Alright, let's finish this. A bit down the road, I spotted some chickpeas. A farm needs chickens too, right? Eggs are key for cakes and omelets. I caught a couple of them. Nothing impressive, but yeah, they'll do. I also found this lift monk effigy along the way, and this just boosts the capture rate of pals. It's just a quick explanation for the parents and the employed folks watching. By the way, hello, evening falls. Crafted a few more pal spears, but the real highlight, clothes before I freeze to death naked. Also needed better defense than a brittle sheep and chicken. So, I also built the old bow. It was freshly made. Maybe they should call it new bow instead of old bow. Bow servational humor aside, I also crafted a normal parachute to protect my shins from those unseen cliff tumbles. It was functional at least. And yes, I am starving. And day 2 also awaits. I somehow managed to get into a slight kerfuffle with 2 alpaca. Some farms have alpacas, so of course, I wanted one for wool, and a potential land mount for later. I did manage to capture one of them, but I took a pretty bad beating myself, and I tried to hide behind this fast travel beacon in a desperate attempt to save my life. But I ended up buying the literal farm, and got sent back to the respawn. After I collected my things in whimpering shame, I saw that my clothes were looking really shabby, and in an act out of character, I actually went out of my way to repair my gear. This is huge for me. I normally ignore the condition of my gear until it's far too late. Like, day 90 late. I had made it to the other side of the windswept hills and accepted a most heroic quest of bringing a cop his lunch. As it turns out, I'm not a Palworld farmer at all, but a DoorDash employee. Yeah, I worked for DoorDash for a few months in real life. Had I known how terrible it was going to be, I would have dashed for the door. into a real job, saving my car and my own mental health in the process. I've done this quest before as well, so I know what's waiting for me as soon as I walk into the valley. It was time to prepare. Just going to gather some stuff to make a handful of arrows. Shouldn't take too long. After 9 real-life minutes, I crafted a decent amount of arrows. On the other side of the mountain, an ambush was awaiting me from these hungry pals. But I am a devoted DoorDash driver and defended the food with my life. Although I think I did spill the guy's drink, unfortunately. I also unlocked the Rain Syndicate Tower fast travel. And I'll be honest, I don't know if I'll actually get around to fighting Zoe and Grisbolt, but I like the idea of mowing them over with a supercharged Mazzarina, Raging Bull style. Then, not too far from the fast travel, I took another leap from glam kind, and I entered into a cave for once. I usually avoid caves because, in my experience, the loot was almost never worth it. So, we'll go in and see if things are different now. But I'll be honest, I was debating on turning right around because I thought to myself, why is a farmer in a cave? This doesn't make sense until I saw them. 2 Mao, tiny black cats that produce gold when placed into a ranch. And then, an idea had hit me. Struck like a bolt of lightning from the blue. What if I could make a lot of gold purely from farming? What if I could make at least 100,000 gold from just crops alone? Yeah, I thought about using the Mao for gold, but it would be too easy, so I won't do that. But the idea of supplying villages with food tickled me quite pink, if I do say so myself. At the start of day 3, I found myself at a dead end. I also found this chest. What was inside this chest? Oh, it's garbage. It's always garbage. It will always be garbage. I don't know what I was expecting, honestly. After running back through the cave with my pockets full of chest trash, I spotted 1 burger of a Gumas. This thing was massive. If I could describe how big it was, we'd be here all day. No time for thinking. I needed something like this on my team to help me plant crops. I tried my luck and attempted a smooth capture. Smooth capture obviously meant getting completely rolled and thrown out like yesterday's news. Of course I died. It just makes sense. I would say this has been quite educational and a good learning experience, and it humbled me a bit. But that's a lie. I was more determined than ever to catch this thing. Since I'm a Jozu Palworld player, I forgot to actually make a shield for myself, so before I go back into the cave like an eager beaver to catch the Gumas, I'm going to make and bake one up right away. After running back through the cave, the Gumas had actually turned into a killer Mari, then proceeded to killer me. Mari. Yeah, it sent me back to the respawn. Next, back in the cave once again because I am a very stubborn man. No more messing around, no more goofing. I came here to stand on business. I caught this Jolthog. Honestly, I do have some regrets. Do hedgehogs actually appear on farms? According to Google, they do. I refuse to do any actual research and take things at face value all the time. It's the only way to live life, honestly. Oh yeah, and dungeon loot. I'm just gonna gloss over it. Tech manuals that I would actually kind of use this time. And that's about it, really. Caught myself some pigs. And by pigs, I mean Rush Roar. Close enough. So, thus far, I have sheep, chickens, pigs, a porcupine, some cats. I needed dogs eventually. And, of course, cat. But let's not put the cart before the story on just yet. A bit further up the road, I neutralized some threats and found a capriti. Fresh for the catching. What else can I say? It's a goat that plants things. So yes, I'm going to catch it. So, as I was trying to catch this capriti, it broke out of all of my pal spears. I hastily placed down a crafting bench, got into a fight with True Rush Roar and the capriti I was trying to catch, and then I only had enough materials to make 1 pal spear that I missed when I threw it at the capriti, and then made more pal spheres on the fly, and by now it got away anyway, so that was pointless. Honestly, I have no words. How do I even react to this situation? When I was actually playing the game in this moment, I was in shock. My luck was turning around though. I did find 2 more capriti, so we'll see how this goes. I managed to barely catch both of them. My armor was broken, my spirit was equally broken. All that was left to do is crawl my way to the small settlement. I would deliver this man's food, even if I had to drag my broken and crippled body across that finish line. With my 3-star delivery complete and my clothes, spirit, mind, body, will broken, I headed back to the starter zone because I actually forgot you needed to return to the farmer lady to collect the experience and the rewards. At this point, I really didn't even care. I was just happy to be done with it. I collected my reward, and it was cheeseburgers. If that isn't the most American-style reward to get in a Japanese survival crafting game, then I don't know what is. In the darkness, I gathered up materials to make a quick camp. Nothing fancy, just something to get me through the night. And then I caught myself a fox sparks. I do know that they have foxes on farms. They steal chickens. I know this because I watched The Fantastic Mr. Fox at least once in my life, and base all of my fox knowledge on that one particular movie. As soon as I had caught that fox sparks, I had realized something very important. I needed a PAL box. I needed to switch out my team. A few lamb balls, chicky pea, just weren't going to cut it in this cruel Palworld. So I spent the rest of the night farming materials to craft one. I had placed down a temporary PAL box. I switched out my voluntary recruits, and tried to construct a somewhat balanced team. I'm working with a shoestring budget and a ragtag troop of pals, so please bear with me. Now, let's get down to brass tacks, and separate the wheat from the chaff, the rice from the germ, the fish from the scales. I need a base location. And I have the perfect place in mind too. I would worry about that in a moment. I wanted to unlock the Mountain Obsidian fast travel as soon as possible. So off I went with hope in my pocket and a pep in my step. After running most of the day, I was no closer to Mount Obsidian. It also dawned on me that I needed a heat-resistant shirt. And of course, I needed flame organs to craft this. And as luck would have it, some fox sparks were nearby. And when I looked at one of them, it was a bright yellow, orangish color, and I wanted to catch it. Honestly, I'm not sure if this is a trick of the light in the game, or some kind of crazy species diversity. I am also colorblind, so who knows? My life is a mix of dull and washed hues. I started crafting that tropical shirt, and with the color swap, I would only be slightly resistant to heat. And after I got that fresh set of clothes, I was back at it again, making my way downtown, walking. As the sun was going down, I decided not to cross the giant bridge leading to safety. Instead, I picked a route with some chest hair, and came across this very sketchy jump. Nothing ventured, and nothing gained. So, we'll see if we can make it. And yeah, I kinda made it across, but my heart was in my stomach. I landed in the water with no stamina, my health was draining fast. And on top of that, night had settled in and I started freezing. In desperation, I swam against the rock in a last-ditch effort to find purchase and regain my stamina for the climb. If I died here, that would be a 20-minute walk of shame. At least. In the deep forest, I ran across a woman. She was called the Messenger of Love. And remember, can trust a strange woman in the deep woods. No questions asked. I talked to her to see what she wanted. Turns out this horrifying heroine was a breakdancer, and we broke it down, and I got some rewards. Alright then. Day 6, and I got into a bit of a scrape with the syndicate. You see, I was attempting to get to the church on this island here, and accidentally bit off a bit more than I could chew. My fox sparks had died, and I was next. But through some tactical retreating, and letting my Mao fight for me, we mopped up shop, and I rose to the top. The cream of the crop. But don't worry about the syndicate all that much, because not more than 3 minutes later, I took a daring leap and ended up in the drink, and met with a grim fate regardless. Anyway, I didn't want to waste much time, so I decided to cross the bridge, with a bounty on it. I bravely held my lamb ball up to protect myself from a barrage of bullets, and I made it across the bridge. I didn't stop for anything. Never a dull moment though. As soon as I grabbed my stuff, I ran into more syndicate and some dire howl. Caught the dire howl because, well yeah, they're wolves. And wolves they turn into dogs, you know, in history. And I needed those for that totally awesome farm that I would build at some point. No, really, and this video isn't clickbait. Bear with me, I'm getting to the farm part of the video, okay? It takes time. Palworld is tricky. What am I doing? Well, good question. I want to see if I could catch this Meemog, because, well, it's a dog, but in box form. So I built a structure to trap it in. Of course, these things like to skitter off when startled, so yeah, this will put a stop to that, hopefully. And yeah, hey, look, it works. I'm a genius. After about 4 minutes of bonking the Meemog over the head, I threw a Pal Sphere and yeah, I caught it. What did you expect? I mean, I didn't know you could catch these, or maybe I did, I don't know. I was 1 week into this Farmer Palworld excursion, and well, there is no farm to be had. I just have the feeling XX little underscore Palgod XX is out there watching my videos and judging my every move with impunity. By this time, I should be in Faybreak with full Hexalite gear. I built a Pal gear workbench, so I could build a saddle for my newly caught Direhowl. This would make this so much easier. And after crafting that saddle, I placed down a PAL box to swap out some party members. As soon as I finished party swapping, a random surfrent crossed my path, but I was nowhere near the water, so this caught me off guard. Only slightly. Mildly. Okay, it didn't really faze me at all. This ain't nothing to me, man. I've seen so many oddities in this game, nothing really surprises me anymore. I didn't run more than probably 40 feet. I don't know what that is in not freedom units. And I saw it. A water cow, a mermaid, a sea cow, a dugong. This was the perfect opportunity for me, and I took it. And a woolly pop! Lucky me! I managed to catch the Mazzarina. Unfortunately for me, the woolly pop were not so compliant, and they fought back. And I was weak from being weak. So, with my Direhowl, I retreated for now. Oh yeah, I did catch a thwack. I needed a farm animal that could water plants as well. It's a water duck, so hey, that's another one off the list, I guess. And I eventually did manage to catch a woolly pop with some Pal Spheres I got from a treasure chest. As I was typing this in my notes, I was taken out by some vanworm. Yeah, it do be rough out here. By chance, I got my stuff back, and I managed to find Dr. Braun as well. I might as well use it on my Meemog, why not? Well, Dr. Braun is a hack! He ruined Meemog's stats! And that's okay, I still love Meemog though. My journey continued into the morning on day 8. I had finally made it to the foot of Mount Obsidian, but trust me, I wouldn't be climbing this thing anytime soon. After a pretty uneventful run, I had made it to the Fisherman's Point with the help of my Direhowl, but in truth, I didn't have business to conduct here. You see, I unlocked this place for ease of access later for trading. I'd like to eventually go to the Terraria dungeon and check that out as well at some point, so yeah, here we are. After teleporting back to a safer location, I spotted 2 Mazzarina, and right away, I wanted to catch them. Well, I caught one of them. I was a bit slow on the draw with the other Pal Sphere. Whoopsie daisy, I guess. I spent a few minutes rolling around this Mazzarina too, for no reason. I was amused by its wiggling and jiggling. Now that I had the groundwork for a truly special, super, amazing, ultra far, I had to decide on a location. Somewhere safe. Somewhere secure. Kind of easygoing. It's Sakurajima. Did you really think I would build my base anywhere else? Did you think I wasn't serious a few videos ago when I said I will always build my bases here? On my way to Sakurajima, I managed to find and catch a really good Univolt. What's a farmer or slash rancher thing without a horse or two? I also got into a fight with these syndicate thugs as I was writing my notes down. Quite rude. And now, they're quite dead. Also, Meemog has teeth. Did you know that? That's kind of unsettling. I had spent a large majority of the day running to Sakurajima. I will admit, I'm very grateful I have Direhowl because man, running on foot is such a drag in this game. At least this cuts the traveling time in half. After running through the night, I was very close to the promised land, that is Sakurajima, and I stopped at this small camp. It was occupied by these 2 dour-looking merchants, which is great because I have trash I need to sell. With some luck, or possibly fate, this merchant had a farmer hatch schematic, and I had to buy it. All I needed were a pair of overall suspenders, and I'd be a true, bona fide farmer, this time for real. In the morning, first thing I grabbed for myself was a fast travel node because, well, that was a very long run. And just in case any chicanery or buffoonery happened to me on Sakurajima, I could get back in the fight without wasting too much time. I had made it to the archipelago and found 2 legendary Pal Spheres in a pile of trash. This brings me back some to simpler times when I had 3,000 subscribers and not a care in the world. How I've missed rooting around in piles of trash like some crazed raccoon for financial gain. Right away, I had managed to reach the beach fast travel beacon, and not a moment too soon either. I was being accosted by a bunch of angry Gordy rats. And honestly, I didn't really want to deal with that right now. And I debated on building my base here, or heck, maybe even take a chance and build it in the swamp for once. Yeah, thought about it, but I decided to go against that for now, unless you all want to watch me struggle to get my bag back for 100 days like in one of my Fabric videos. It ain't gonna happen. Now that I was here, it was time to place down some essentials like a crafting table, some storage chests, and a repair station. And can't forget about the pal beds. Before long, after gathering materials, I had a house and some pal beds set up and ready to go. It's not much to look at, but for now it's home. With that, my glam fam, I am beat. I will see you all in the morning. I needed stone and wood to make berry plantations, because a man can't live on bread alone. Trust me, I've tried. So I began farming, when all of a sudden 2 Yakumo wandered into my camp. And these little dogs are very aggressive, and it also took them a long time to get here, so I just kind of let them wander around for a bit, and they eventually left. After all that time, I was able to place one berry plantation. I am nothing if not efficient with my time. After all of that work, I was able to upgrade my PAL box 3 times, which was a step in the right direction, because that's 3 levels that I didn't have a few seconds ago. Actually, it was 4 levels, I lied. Yeah, wow, we're making some really good progress. The next task that needed to be done, I had to build a statue of power, so I set out to farming palladium fragments. And yeah, I placed down a statue of power. Pretty cool.